The journey toward leadership is rarely a sudden leap. Rather, it is the culmination of every thought, action, and words spoken over the course of a lifetime. It is a slow, often silent preparation that molds an individual into the figure they are today, ready to guide others through the complexities of existence. Leadership does not always wear a crown or hold a gavel. It manifests in a myriad of forms and scales across the globe. In the quiet corners of the American continent, it might look like a parent organizing a large, bustling household. In the vibrant communities of Latin America, it may be the person leading a local volunteer group or coaching a youth sports team on the weekends. In the high-pressure boardrooms of Europe or the innovative hubs of England, it is the visionary steering a startup from a single desk to global prominence. Whether the role is considered trivial by the world or carries the weight of a multinational corporation, the essence remains unchanged. The art of inspiring, organizing, and motivating a small group of people in a familiar setting is remarkably similar to the skills required to sit at an executive table of a global giant. There is a profound realization that the world is currently standing in a state of quiet desperation, waiting for individuals to step into their potential as leaders. The evidence of this need is visible everywhere one looks. Governments in various regions struggle to find a clear focus, often failing to lead their own systems, let alone their nations. In the corporate world, companies of all sizes are buffeted by waves of competition and complexity so intense that management teams often find themselves gasping for air, unable to deliver the results they once promised. Even in the realm of sports, the lack of consistency leads to a revolving door of coaches and mentors searching for a stability that seems perpetually out of reach. Public sectors, burdened by a lack of resources, face crumbling infrastructures in education and healthcare, often because the guiding hands at the top lack the vision to navigate the storm. When one envisions a successful leader, the mind often drifts toward figures of immense visibility, those whose names are synonymous with global empires or grand philanthropic efforts. Yet true leadership often thrives in the shadows of prestige. It is found in the dedicated department head, the former teacher who shaped young minds, the neighbor who manages the local community association, or the partner who keeps a business venture steady. Every instance of success in these roles stems from a decision to refine one's capabilities and knowledge. The path to becoming an admired leader is paved with the willingness to look inward and ask difficult questions about one's own growth. It is about moving beyond the status of a mere manager to become a person who others genuinely wish to follow and learn from. Many who find themselves in positions of authority fail to utilize the full arsenal of tools at their disposal. They often possess untapped advantages and hidden strength that remain dormant, while they simultaneously cling to weaknesses that prevent them from moving forward. The opportunity to evolve as a leader is fundamentally an opportunity for deep self-reflection. It requires taking the necessary time to ponder how one wishes to grow, how to foster the development of future leaders, and ultimately how one desires to be remembered by those they have guided. The process involves identifying the missing pieces of a complex puzzle, ranging from self-mastery and understanding personal motivations to mastering the subtle nuances of communication and emotional intelligence. As the narrative of leadership unfolds, it becomes clear that there are specific behaviors and mindsets that distinguish the exceptional from the mediocre. It is not enough to simply hold a title. One must learn to think and speak with a clarity that resonates with the hearts of followers. A leader must be able to motivate during times of stagnation and provide a steady hand during the turbulence of change. But as one begins to explore the vast landscape of leadership strategies, a single vital element emerges from the mist, a foundational principle that acts as the bedrock for everything else. Without this core component, the most brilliant strategies and the most charismatic personalities will eventually crumble, leaving behind nothing but a sense of what might have been. This invisible force, often overlooked until it is gone, is the starting point for every successful journey.
At the very heart of any human collective, there exists an invisible, yet immensely powerful substance that functions like a glue, binding individuals, ideas, and systems together. This substance is trust. For a leader, the primary and perhaps most daunting task is not just the creation of high levels of trust, but the relentless maintenance of those levels over time. It is a delicate balance, an intricate web that touches every interaction and every procedural layer within an organization or a community. To understand trust is to recognize that it is not a monolithic concept. It is multifaceted, extending in several directions at once. It involves the confidence people have in the words and promises of others, the faith they place in the systems and laws that govern them, and the internal belief they hold in their own capabilities and intentions. When this glue begins to dry up or crock, the entire structure of leadership is placed under immense strain. Leading becomes an uphill battle, a grueling task where every step is met with resistance. Without trust, the people being led become distracted by their own anxieties and uncertainties. Their focus shifts from the collective goal to a state of self-preservation. They begin to harbor silent doubts that eat away at the foundation of their work. A person might wonder if their extra effort will ever be recognized, or if they will be fairly rewarded for exceeding their targets. They might look at a colleague and hesitate to ask for help, unsure if that vulnerability will be met with support or exploited. They might gaze up at their superior and feel a cold sense of isolation, questioning whether that leader truly has their back when the pressure mounts. This erosion of trust often extends to the very systems that are supposed to facilitate progress. In many organizations across Europe or North America, employees might find themselves working with data they don't believe in or following processes they find fundamentally flawed. A team member might attend a rigorous training session, yet return to their desk feeling a profound lack of confidence in their ability to implement what they have learned. They might look at the company's long-term strategy and feel a disconnect, a nagging suspicion that the plans for new products or market expansions are built on shaky ground. These are not merely administrative hurdles. They are deep-seated emotional and psychological barriers that prevent a group from ever reaching its true potential. One of the most challenging aspects of trust is its inherent subjectivity. It is a deeply personal matter. What one person trusts implicitly, another might view with extreme skepticism. A leader may feel that a certain process is robust and transparent, while a subordinate sees it as a labyrinth designed to confuse and exclude. This disparity creates a friction that can slow down even the most well-funded and strategically sound operations. Often trust is only noticed in its absence. It is like the air we breathe, taken for granted until it becomes thin or polluted. When a leader suddenly realizes that a bridge has been burned or that a system has lost its credibility, the realization can be jarring, forcing a sudden and often desperate pivot to address the void. Establishing this foundational trust requires more than just a declaration of intent. It demands a fundamental shift in how a leader perceives their role. The leader must recognize that they are the primary architects of the environment in which their team operates. If the environment is one of suspicion and doubt, the fault rarely lies with the followers alone. It is the leader's responsibility to diagnose where the cracks are forming. Is the mistrust directed toward individuals, or is it embedded in the very rules and procedures of the workplace? Is the lack of confidence internal, a quiet voice in the minds of the staff telling them they aren't good enough? Identifying these specific points of failure is the first step toward a transformation that can redefine the trajectory of the entire group.
As the narrative of a leader's journey deepens, the focus shifts toward the emotional subtext that defines daily life within a team. Imagine the atmosphere in a large office building in a major city in Latin America. On the surface, everything seems functional. Phones ring, emails are sent, and meetings are held. But beneath this facade, there is a palpable tension. This tension is the shadow of missing trust. It manifests in the way people guard their information, the way they hesitate before speaking in a meeting, and the way they retreat into silos. When people feel they cannot trust the system, they stop innovating, they stop taking risks, because the cost of failure is perceived as personal destruction rather than a collective learning opportunity. Consider the internal monologue of a talented professional who feels disconnected from their leadership. They might think to themselves that they have never truly trusted the accuracy of the billing systems or the data provided by another department. This lack of faith creates a culture of checking and double-checking, where energy that could be used for creativity is instead wasted on verifying things that should be standard. There is a sense of being on guard, a constant vigilance that is exhausting. When a leader fails to address these systemic doubts, they are essentially allowing a slow-acting poison to circulate through the veins of their organization. The emotional weight of this uncertainty can lead to burnout, disengagement, and a high turnover of the very people the leader needs most. In this environment, even the most well-intentioned plans can be met with cynicism. A leader might announce a bold new initiative, But if the foundation of trust has not been laid, the announcement is met with silent skepticism. People look at each other with knowing glances, remembering past promises that went unfulfilled, or changes that only brought more confusion. The realization for the leader must be that trust is not a one-time achievement. It is a continuous intellectual and emotional progression. It requires a level of transparency that many find uncomfortable. It means admitting when a system is broken and being honest about the challenges ahead. Trust also has a profound impact on how individuals view their own growth. When a person is placed in a new role or given a new responsibility, their success is largely dictated by the trust they have in their own capabilities and the trust they feel their leader has in them. If a leader provides training but fails to follow up with encouragement or the necessary resources, the employee is left in a state of professional limbo. They have the knowledge, but they lack the confidence to act on it. This internal struggle is a silent killer of productivity. The leader's role, therefore, involves more than just delegating tasks. It involves building the psychological safety necessary for people to believe in themselves. To move toward a more harmonious rhythm, a leader must begin to look at trust as a tangible asset, something that can be measured through observation and dialogue. It is about understanding the small, seemingly insignificant moments where trust is either built or broken. A missed deadline, a broken promise, a dismissive comment, these are the tiny fractures that over time can lead to a total collapse of the structure. Conversely, a moment of genuine support, a transparent explanation of a difficult decision, or a consistent follow-through on a commitment are the bricks that build a fortress of loyalty. The transition toward a culture of trust begins when the leader decides to stop looking at trust as a byproduct of success and start seeing it as the primary driver of it.
The turning point in any leadership narrative occurs when the individual in charge stops merely observing the lack of trust and decides to become its primary guardian. This realization is often a moment of intense clarity, a shift in perspective that redefines the leader's entire approach. The most crucial task becomes clear: to be a living model of trust. In the bustling professional landscapes of the American continent or the established industries of England, a leader must embody the standards they wish to see. They must ensure that every colleague, from the most senior executive to the newest recruit, believes 100% in what the leader says, promises, and does. This is the heavy crown of leadership, the understanding that one's integrity is the ultimate currency. This climactic shift involves a proactive and almost investigative approach to the environment. The leader must step into the fray and identify exactly where trust is most needed. This isn't done through guesswork or assumptions. It requires a deep dive into the dynamics between the leader and the followers, between the followers themselves, and between the people and the systems they use. A leader might begin by creating a comprehensive list of every moment where trust is essential for an ideal working environment. They look for the gaps where fear or doubt has taken root. But they don't do this in isolation. The most effective leaders involve their team in this process, recognizing that those on the front lines have the clearest view of the cracks in the foundation. To bridge the gap between suspicion and transparency, a leader might use tools designed to encourage radical honesty. In many settings, from large corporations in Europe to small nonprofits in other regions, an anonymous online questionnaire can be a powerful catalyst. It allows people to speak their truths without fear of retribution. When the results come in, it is often a sobering revelation for the leader. They see the raw, unfiltered perceptions of their team, the doubts about the strategy, the frustrations with the management, and the lack of faith in the future. This is the confrontation with reality that every great leader must face. It is a moment of vulnerability, where the leader must acknowledge that the environment they have overseen is flawed. However, this revelation is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of a profound transformation. With the data in hand, the leader can no longer hide behind vague platitudes. They are forced to confront the specific areas where communication has failed and where information has been withheld. The intensity of this moment lies in the leader's decision to move forward with a new level of openness. They realize that trust is built on perceptions and experiences, and since these are unique to every individual, the path forward will involve trial and error. It is a commitment to a process rather than a quick fix. This critical turning point is marked by a shift from a reactive stance to a proactive one. The leader begins to explore how to increase trust in a way that is sustainable for the long term. This often involves a surge in communication, not just more talking, but better listening. It means sharing opinions and information more freely than ever before. The strategy moves from need to know to want to share. This transition into clarity and consequence is where the real work of leadership happens. It is the moment where the glue begins to be reapplied, bond by bond, until the structure is not just repaired, but made stronger than it ever was before.
In the aftermath of this conceptual turning point, the atmosphere of the workplace begins to undergo a subtle yet unmistakable change. The consequences of the leader's commitment to trust start to manifest in the daily interactions and the overall morale of the group. One of the first signs of this transformation is the introduction of structured, consistent communication. The leader might reserve specific times for weekly individual sessions with each team member. These are not just progress reports, they are sacred spaces for building personal trust. In these moments, the leader listens to concerns, provides support, and reinforces the idea that each individual's contribution is valued and their voice is heard. As these sessions become a regular part of the rhythm, the walls between departments begin to thin. The leader might recognize that the lack of trust between two specific areas, perhaps finance and operations or marketing and sales, is hindering the entire organization's progress. To combat this, they create opportunities for social interaction and team-building exercises. These aren't just for fun, they serve a strategic purpose. By bringing people together in a less formal setting, the leader allows them to see each other as human beings rather than just names on an email. The lack of trust, which often thrives in isolation, begins to dissipate as people find common ground and shared goals. Furthermore, the leader takes direct action to address the systemic doubts that were identified during the discovery phase. If there's a lack of faith in a new performance management system or a technical process, the leader doesn't just ignore it or force it through. Instead, they facilitate open discussions between their team and the relevant departments, such as human resources. They allow the team to voice their concerns and participate in finding solutions. This collaborative approach does two things. It improves the system itself, and more importantly, it shows the team that their expertise and their concerns are taken seriously. The internal and external transformation is profound. The team feels empowered rather than ignored. This period of resolution is also marked by the leader's own personal evolution. They learn the value of consistency. They understand that every promise kept is a deposit into the bank of trust, and every broken promise is a withdrawal that is hard to replace. The leader becomes more mindful of their own transparency, sharing the why behind decisions even when they are difficult. This clarity provides the team with a sense of security. Even if they don't always agree with the decision, they can trust the process that led to it. The previous climate of war within units or between departments begins to settle into a collaborative peace. As trust becomes more deeply embedded in the culture, the distractions that once plagued the staff begin to fade. People are no longer looking over their shoulders or wondering if they will be supported. They are free to focus their energy on the tasks at hand and on the grander vision of the organization. The transformation is not just in the metrics or the output, but in the spirit of the people themselves. They move from a state of anxious self-preservation to a state of collective ambition. The leader, having successfully navigated the crisis of confidence, now finds themselves at the helm of a more resilient, motivated, and unified force, ready to face the complexities of the future with a newfound strength.
The final reflection on this journey reveals a fundamental truth about human endeavor. Success is not merely a matter of strategy, talent, or resources, but of the relationships that bind us together. Trust is the invisible thread that weaves through every successful leadership story, from the largest corporations in England to the smallest community groups in the home region. It is a quiet force, often unnoticed when it is present, but devastatingly obvious when it is missing. A leader's legacy is not built on the numbers they achieved or the titles they held, but on the level of trust they were able to foster and the quality of the people they were able to inspire and develop. To lead with excellence is to accept the responsibility of being a beacon of integrity. It is an ongoing commitment to self-reflection and growth, recognizing that one's own character is the most powerful tool in the leadership arsenal. The mindset of a successful leader is one that prioritizes people over processes, understanding that if the people are trusted and empowered, the processes will naturally follow. This philosophical shift is what allows a leader to create an environment where innovation thrives and where individuals feel safe to reach for their highest potential. It is about building a foundation that can weather any storm, anchored in the belief that we are stronger together than we are apart. As the narrative concludes, it leaves us with a sense of clarity. Leadership is not a destination, but a continuous practice of building and rebuilding trust. It is a journey that requires patience, vulnerability, and a relentless focus on communication. The challenges will always be there: the complexity of global markets, the scarcity of resources, and the inherent unpredictability of human nature. Yet, with trust as the guiding principle, these challenges become opportunities for collective growth and shared triumph. The leader who puts trust first is not just managing a team, they are cultivating a community of future leaders who will carry that legacy forward. The ultimate lesson is that we are all, in some capacity, leaders. Whether in our professional roles, our social circles, or our homes, we have the power to influence and inspire those around us. By choosing to model trust, by being proactive in identifying where it is needed, and by being transparent in our intentions, we contribute to a world that is more cohesive and more purposeful. The journey toward becoming the best leader one can be is a noble pursuit, one that demands our best selves and rewards us with the profound satisfaction of knowing we have made a meaningful impact on the lives of others. Let this reflection serve as a quiet call to action. Consider the environments you inhabit and the people you guide. Where can trust be strengthened? Where can communication be opened? The path is not always easy, and it often requires a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, but the rewards are immeasurable. In a world that is often fragmented and uncertain, the presence of a trusted leader is a source of stability and hope. By placing trust at the very beginning of the journey, one sets the stage for a story of success that is not only enduring, but deeply resonant with the very best of human potential.